The drought is broken. In what many would call the upset of the season, the WAFL Eagles, who welcomed back several key players from injury, managed to fight their way to a 5-point win over the joint ladder-leading Subiaco Lions. Welcome to a very happy WAFL report this week. The skipper Hamish is here. And Hammer, tell us, what about those nerves in the final few moments?
Yeah, I think we should first quickly touch on the party hats. I think maybe the fourth or fifth WAFL show, I said when we get our first win, we'll be wearing party hats. But we have only won one win, so that's just a little joke, and we'll get rid of them. Yes. Very, very nervous final few minutes. I think the ball was 25 metres out, straight in front of their goal with about 20 seconds to go. So it was nervous, but I think just a very, very good game. It made the win a lot more sweet when the final siren did go, but came at a very good time.
It's been a tough year for the team overall, clearly. What does this win mean to the boys and the footy club as a whole?
Oh, it's massive for us. I mean, it gets the monkey off the back, first of all. We're 9 rounds in, and to get our first win is really, really big for the boys. But I think it just sort of validates our seconds program, the WAFL team. I mean, there was a bit of conjecture about it at the start of the year, whether or not it was working and whatnot, but I think this just shows when there is a healthy AFL list and you get players back, we can be competitive. I mean, we got a lot of buy-in from the AFL boys that came back this week, and that brings up our WAFL listed players as well, so everyone's sort of just bought in, and it's just a massive win for the footy club, so really, really, really happy with the boys.
Now, we'll talk about those returning AFL players soon, but Hammer, I want you to talk to us about the WAFL Eagles boys, and they stood up when we needed them the most in this game, and not the least Kieran Hugg, who I'll say had a bit of Josh Kennedy about him versus Richmond.
No, he did. The WAFL Eagles boys are massive. I mean, we wouldn't have a footy club without them. We can't field a team if these guys don't come in, and they know the situation they're buying themselves into. I mean, they're coming back to a team where the AFL list health is very much dictates whether they'll play or not. So they come here, they love it, they train really hard, and then the blokes that do go out and play on the weekend are proud to pull the jumper on, and we get a lot out of them. So guys like Liam Rebellion, Kieran Hugg, as you said before, Jalen McGee, Jordan Busher, all these guys come back and just put their heart and soul into the team. So, and yeah, Huggy's goal, it was he missed one about 20 seconds or a minute or so beforehand, and then finally got the little one at the end to seal the deal. So yeah, just a massive effort for them, a massive win for them, and it really sort of gives them a lot going forward for the year.
Well, it sounds like we've got a pretty happy skipper here, and let's hear from a pretty happy coach.
Right, Praddy, how are you feeling?
Oh yeah, feeling good. It was a bloody good game of footy, so it would have been exciting for everyone who was here to watch, and fortunately for us, we came in on top in the end, yeah.
Just for some of the kids and that to sing the song after everything they've been through must be a pretty big reward for everyone.
Yeah, it's probably more for the amateur, the WAFL list of players that we've got who are helping us out with what they're doing. I thought some of them really stood up at the end, Rebillard and Hugg, Sears, Sumich. And then we've got some guys who are injured at the moment who missed out, but they're all in the room singing the song, so it's really good for them.
Now, we discussed goals earlier on, so let's take a look at the scorecard. Nathan Vardy, Brandon Archie and Kieran Hugg were our multiple goal scorers on the day, but 6 others had singles. Now, while having a player like Subi's Ben Sockhole and have him kick 6 is always handy, the coaching staff would no doubt be pretty happy with such an even contribution across the board for us. Hutch, he led the way on disposals with a game-high 32. He was followed by Alex Witherden, who had 26, and Braden Ainsworth, Luke Shuey and Jared Brander rounded out our top disposal getters with 25, 22 and 21 respectively. Now, Hammer, for the captain's calls, we mentioned him a little bit earlier, but tell us a bit about the return of one of your good mates and an Eagles captain, Luke Shuey.
Yeah, he was massive for us. I say this every week when we get pretty good AFL players back, that they're too good for that level, but it's not often you have a North Smith medalist and a premiership player playing at the WAFL, so he is far too good for that level, but he brings experience. He brought, he's calm around the footy, and just the impact that he had in the limited time, he was instrumental in the win, so it was massive to have him back.
And who gets speech rights pre-game? You're the captain of the squad, but he's the captain of the senior squad, and he's coming to your team. What's happening here, mate?
Yeah, well, funnily enough, Boots, we weren't playing seniors, so he listened to me. But no, I mean, I'd be a stupid leader to not let him sort of have a say here and there. He's way more experienced. He knows a lot more about football than I do. And the boys haven't played with him much before, but they obviously know who he is and respect him. So when he had a couple of chats with the forward line, the midfield group, and before we went off at half time, he had a little chat with the boys. So I hand the reins over there at times, but pre-game and at half time after we ran out, I was I had the speech rights. So it was a good little blend, I think.
And tell us about some of the other AFL boys that came back to the side. Alex Witherden, Jared Brander, Xavier O'Neill, they had some pretty impactful performances and really helped stabilise the team.
Yeah, I mean, having these guys back, we expect to have them back, guys like this every week. I mean, if there's a healthy AFL list, you expect to get players that are reasonable AFL players back playing WAFL. So it just gives our side a bit of structure, that you know what you're going to get from them every week, and they provide that stability, and it lets us sort of set our game plan up around that. So they had really good individual games, but that's just the way that we sort of build our process and system around those sort of guys. So it was really good to have them back and playing well.
And one guy that did play pretty well, he was probably Mark of the Year nominee again from this man, Brendan Archie. Is this probably one of the best ones you've seen from him?
Yeah, I think so. He won Mark of the Year in 2019 against South Freo, but $5,000, shut up and take my money. I think that was an absolute ripper. He got up. Jared Garlick got up right next to him, and she was another 1.5 foot taller. So that was a phenomenal mark, one of the best ones I've seen him take for sure.
Vards would be pretty flat because he was pretty much guaranteed to win that money earlier on.
Yep,
Cheese probably
unlucky, mate. Yeah, he's got another kid on the way, Vards, so the 5,000 would have helped, but that's all Cheese, I think.
How important is it to have a player like Chi in the team? He's got such X factor, but also is such a good utility. He can go forward, he can go back. How important is that in the team?
Yeah, that's massive. We're a really role-driven side, and I think we have a structure and a system that will allow us to play well regardless of who's playing. But when you've got a guy with a spark like that, if the game's pretty tight, you sort of need someone who can flick a switch, and he's definitely one of the guys that can do that. And as to his versatility, I mean, if we have injuries, we had a couple of guys go down, he can sort of go wherever we need him to play. So, and he plays really well. So he's a massive guy to have in our team, and a really good bloke to have playing for us.
Now, Hammer, you mentioned the injuries. We didn't get away from this game completely unscathed, unfortunately. Connor Westday, that ended early, appearing to injure his ankle in this contest. And Jalen McGee, unfortunately, he apparently suffered a serious knee injury and had to be helped from the ground. We're hoping the best for him, and we really wish him a speedy recovery. But now, it's time for Drop the Hammer.
Jalen McGee, I think, has suffered a pretty serious knee injury. He's the heart and soul of that footy club, and the boys absolutely love him, so wishing him all the best. But that did open the door for Braden Ainsworth Bubba to go down back. He's been playing a little bit of that wing role and moving down back of the last few weeks, but really had to stick it out down there given the injuries that we had. And I thought he was massive. He showed composure down there. He's always been a pretty good mark for a small fella, but really stood up down there when we needed him. His use off the half back line really set us up. He took a couple of marks, looked really dangerous and composed with the footy, and set up our ball movement. So, I think given the injuries and the opportunities that he had to present itself in a really tough game against his old team, that's a really good performance from Bubba.
Fantastic for Bubba. Now, as much fun as this show is, unfortunately, we have to come to an end at some point and look ahead to our next fixture. I can't be 100% certain, Hamish, but I think we might lose a few players to the AFL side this week. Yeah. But the impact this win on the squad as a whole, it's really galvanised us, hasn't it?
Yeah, unfortunately we might lose a few. I don't know if 65 will be running around in the twos again next week. But no, this is this is a key point for us in the year. It's really sort of gelled the team. I think AFL players coming back, WAFL Eagles guys coming in, everyone is on the same page, and we've been building towards it for the last sort of month. So for that, this is a really good reward for effort for the team, and this should set us up for the back end of the year. So we got the Sharks this weekend, but yeah, definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, they've really improved over recent times. What are we looking out for most against the Sharks when we head down to Shark Park?
Well, yeah, they touched us up last time, made us look pretty silly. So they've got, they've got a really good engine room. Guys can get the footy and really have great work rate. And then I think mostly they're dangerous up forward. I mean, John O'Marsh kicked 7 against us last time. Hugh Dixon really gets involved down there. So we're going to need a good, strong performance. We probably need to get it done at the contest a bit better than we did last time. So if we can nullify their midfield and sort of try and keep their forwards at bay a little bit, that'll be massive for us going forward.
Honestly, can't wait to see this clash and aim for the second win in a row. The West Australian will be streaming this game, so make sure you tune in 2:10 this Saturday. See ya.